Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to create a painting of two belted Galloway calves against a dramatic sky, somewhat inspired by Dartmoor in Devon. So I'm beginning with my A2 mixed media paper, and I've used a watercolor marker pen to just put in some loose outlines of the two calves. And my plan is to use this frayed decorator's brush to create my landscape, and then I may use the same brush on some of the cattle, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm beginning with a pre-used palette, as you can see, and I've got my titanium white, ultramarine blue and cerulean blue, and the plan is to have a fairly low horizon line. So I'm going to take some of the white. This is conventional acrylic. I can't remember if I just said that or not, but this is conventional acrylic. I'm probably going to switch to interactive acrylics later on. So I've just picked up a little bit of the cerulean and mostly the white. And I'm going to begin by just putting a band of that in here. And notice I'm kind of wiggling the brush as I move from one side of the paper to the other. So the idea is to just create some textures in the sky, really. A little bit more of the cerulean, mostly on one side of the brush. And I'm keeping the sky fairly pale on this lower part of the painting, because I want the cattle to be fairly dark and stand out against the sky. So let's go back in with a bit more white, just alternate things a little so that it's not just going from light to dark as we go up. Now you can see I'm going over the drawing I've done to some extent, and that's quite intentional, because once the paint is dried I should be able to see enough of the initial lines that I've put down, enough to follow them and use them as a guide. So let's grab a bit more of the cerulean blue, and I'm going to grab a little edge of white on the end of my brush there. So the paint's going down a little bit thicker where that edge of white is. And now, as I work my way up the paper, I'll add a little more of the cerulean, but we'll still keep a little bit of white on that edge. I'm going to put the same down again, but a little more of the cerulean. I'm going to just pick up a little edge of the ultramarine blue this time. Let's get a little more of that. And it's come out a little strong there in the center, so we'll tease that little patch of dark blue out into other parts of the painting. Back to the cerulean. So getting closer to pure cerulean now. Again, I'm keeping that kind of wiggle of the brush going. A little more of the ultramarine mixed in with the cerulean. Now, the boundary between some of these bands is perhaps a little harsh, so I'm just going to feather the tips of the bristles diagonally from right down to left over those kind of transition bands. That's going to soften the transition, but also perhaps create a slight suggestion of rain.